1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Oh, yeah, she was really cool.
I'm getting the final things done here. Take care, Dave. Yeah, you too. How's Lily doing? She's doing fine. Feeling good? Alright, well, I got what I need to get, so you take care and be safe. I was going to be at a fire meeting last week, but then I had to go to work, so I don't know if that's Exactly. So he went from bad to worse. Alright, let me guess. Sean's the assistant chief. Yeah. See, that's why they just trade back and forth. So nothing ever's going to change. Yeah, I'm just going to have a bunch of parties. Back when, like, yeah, I don't know. You're still captain of the squad, aren't you? Nope. No? Who's captain of the squad? I have no idea. Oh, boy. No, Zach got mad at me one time, lied to Sean, the next thing you know, they didn't even give me a chance to put Right. You take care, Dave. Yeah. Be safe. See you later. Yeah. Christensen. This is Randy Cook. Kelly's pretty tied up right now at the moment. She's getting reading in the back room over there. Yeah, Randy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 29 and I work in Marriott in Omaha.
Yeah.
And I live here in town with my mom. And we just had a couple life-changing experiences happen personally.
Oh, like what?
I got into a car accident last Friday.
You did?
And the car almost blew up with me in it. And the psychics told me that that was one of my exit points in life, and I chose to stay.
Yeah.
And then Thursday was my birthday, and my grandpa died.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it's been a rough week.
How old was your grandpa?
He was 76.
76?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any of those psychic abilities, do you?
They tell me I'm an empath.
What's an empath?
An empath is where I just feel emotions and like negativity and positive energy and negative energy, and like I can control it supposedly.
Go ahead and look at the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so an empath, is it something like a sensitive where you can feel people's emotions?
Yeah.
And like if you walk into an environment like a haunted house or something like that, if something happened in there, you could feel the pain or the sadness and the joy and whatever.
I'm supposed to, yes. They say I'm not as strong yet in my abilities, but as I get older, it should get stronger. But that explains why I have so many emotions at one time when I walk into a room or something.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I've known people like that. They can walk into a room and this one girl, her name was Cindy. She'd walk into a place where tragedy happened, like abuse or something, and she could feel the sadness, and sometimes she could actually feel the physical pain, from that. Myself, I go out and I look for the paranormal. I go and find evidence of hauntings and stuff like that. So I'm not too much into the psychic part where I know who is who and what is what. So,
Yeah.
I could just tell you,
Yeah,
the things that I do.
That's how I am. I'm just starting to get into it. It's been a couple years now. Some things happened to my mother that made me think about doing stuff, because she got all spiritual on me after her boyfriend shot himself. She went to a very dark place, and that's where she started doing all this stuff, and it got me interested in it. And now the more I get into it, the more inquisitive, and the more as I told them, I was like, curiosity killed the cat. I was like, that's basically how it goes.
Now, with the ability that you have, how do you exercise it? How do you make it stronger?
That I don't know yet.
Does anybody else have the ability like you?
Not really, because they say my mom is intuitive, so intuitive is completely different from empath, because I think intuitive is more mental, but they just told me I have to learn how to turn it on and turn it off with my emotions, because they said I can. If I wanted to, I could walk into a room and I could suck the energy so much in that room that I can make everything negative, or I can make it positive. They said I have that ability to do it, I just haven't tapped into that yet. And I was like, it's happened to me a couple times when I'm really upset, and I think mostly, to tap into it is emotion and anger. Just like anything else, you got to find what controls or basically flips that switch to do whatever.
It's something that's just comes all of a sudden, and you really don't know how to turn it on and off.
Exactly. Yes. It's like when you're in your teens and you first start going through puberty. Like all your emotions are like messed up and stuff, and then as this comes about, you're just like, I have no idea what's going on. Why do I feel this way? And you realize that it's not just you. It's you pulling energy from everybody else. So you have to learn to not let it bother you.
Okay.
That's one of my big steps this year that I'm working on.
Well, we're in the Iron Horse Bar and Restaurant in Hooper, Nebraska. It's just a little bit north of Fremont. We've been investigating this location now for approximately 6 months, maybe 8 months. We've been here for quite a while, and we've found all kinds of interesting things going on here. Do you feel anything? I mean, when you're walking around here, do you get emotions about anything here?
I've actually thought about that. There's been a couple times where I felt something. I just don't know what it is. Downstairs mostly, because like I don't know if this makes me different or whatever, but for some reason I feel like I pick up on the negative energy more than I do the positive energy.
Right.
So all the negative energy that's downstairs, like it makes me want to know more about it and like what happened, and I haven't had a chance to basically tap into the what's going on. But I mean, I have been cold since I got here. But it's cold in here, so.
Yeah, it is kind of cool in here
I don't know
right
if that's
now.
just me, but
Here at the Iron Horse, a lot of things have happened. Been witnessed by the owner and a lot of the people that work here. They used to have a monkey hanging up over the top of the bar. And when you squeeze his foot, it would start making a sound like a monkey and just kind of start bouncing around. It was hanging on a string. And the first time I ever noticed anything strange here, I came up here to take some pictures. And when I was standing by the monkey looking at the pictures on my camera, the monkey went off. And at first I thought it was a motion sensing device on the monkey. So I went over and started playing with it. I couldn't get it to move. I'd squeeze his stomach, squeeze his leg, his arm, everything else. And finally Dale came in. And I told Dale about it, and he thought I was just pulling his chain. So he went over and he showed me how to make the monkey jump around by pinching his foot. Which was quite neat because he says it's never happened before. So I have a funny feeling Dale thought I was just pulling his chain. Well, about a week later, we were doing an investigation here in the bar, and Dale was standing by the monkey when the monkey did it. And he just kind of turned white and quite surprised about it. But there's quite a few spirits here at the Iron Horse. There's a baby that's downstairs with a mother, and the father's down there as well. There's quite a few gentlemen here. There's a few women here that kind of fight and bicker with each other, but that's pretty common when you're living in an environment with a group of people. Eventually you're going to have your arguments. But there's nothing really harmful here, nothing that's threatening. It's more like a small community. And from time to time they'll let you know that they're here. And quite active for sure. Later on tonight, when we get done with this segment, we're going to do a live feed of an investigation here where we're going to set up cameras, and you'll be able to watch. And if you see anything or hear anything, then there's a chat window that you'll be able to enter questions, comments, and maybe ask some questions, and if you see something, we'd appreciate it if you'd put down the time that you saw it and what you saw in the chat box. Normally we would have a chat session going on right now, but we're using a different kind of software for the streaming, and you could chat something to us and we can answer later, but right now we can't see it. So it's up to you if you want to do that or not. You want to run over and get Kelly and
Sure.
tell her to come on over now?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I met this guy before. He's a real nice guy. Good kid. Now here comes Miss Miller.
Hello.
Hi, Kelli Miller.
Yeah, how are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, we can see you quite well on the camera.
Yeah.
So, you've had this, you're a psychic medium, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you've had this ability ever since you were a child.
Uh-huh.
But like most children, the parents tell them, oh no, that don't happen, that don't exist, and that's basically what your parents did to you.
One parent had no clue, the other parent knew but didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Do you want to tell us about growing up with this ability?
I didn't know up until 2 years ago that I was so different. So growing up, I thought I was like every other kid.
Right.
I didn't think I was any different. I just know that when I was about 7 years old, to back it up a little bit, when I was 5, my dad and my uncle, they were brothers, moved to Schuyler. And they were going to start a construction or carpentry business as of January 1st. On December 25th, or Christmas Eve, December 24th, my uncle was killed in a car accident.
Wow.
And so a couple of years went by, nothing big. When I was 7, my dad had mentioned something about the car accident, and he just goes, oh, well, he just wasn't paying attention and something like that. And I said, that's not what happened. And he says, oh, really, what happened? And I said, well, he was driving, and I said, and he was smoking. And I said, and the hot part, now mind you, I was 7, he said the hot part went on his leg, and he went like this to try to get it to cool off. He went into the ditch, and I said, and when he went into the ditch, I said, he hit the big round circle thing, which at the time was a culvert.
Right.
And then I said, and then his head went through the handlebars, which is the steering wheel. And my dad went sheet white, and he just goes, how did you know this? And I said, well, because he told me. And with that, my dad said, you know what, I believe you, but from here on out, when things like that happen, just come talk to me. Don't talk to Mom, don't talk to your brother, just come talk to me. And I said, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so with little things happening here and there, I'd always go to my dad. And so then after that, nothing big. I turned 21. My dad passed away with skin cancer. And so since then, I never really spoke to anybody about this. And then I ended up finding out just 2 years ago how really different I am. And so I've been on this journey for the last 2 years of finding out how really different I am. So, and I don't think I'm really any different, but it's just I just have a few more abilities that just never simply got turned off.
Now, I have a question for you. Okay. This happens to me. You know about this stuff, but me, I just go out and I just chase them and find them, and you know, that's what I do. But there'll be times where I'll be relaxed and I'll have my eyes closed, and all of a sudden, you know, when you close your eyes, you see dark. But when I close my eyes, after a while, if I'm relaxed, I start seeing like a greenish color. And sometimes I will actually see people like they're flying by me.
Right. Or sometimes looking like a lava lamp.
Yeah, just red, yellow, green, you know, stuff like that. And then it goes to another color, and then, you know, I like to see like people coming at me. And one time, I was doing this, and I was quite aware of what I was doing because, you know, I thought it was kind of cool, you know. But you can actually see these faces, but it's like looking at them in night vision goggles.
Right.
And this one lady, all of them would always go by, but this one lady stopped, and she looked at me, and she said, "You can see me." And I just looked right back at her, and then that was the end of that. Now, I don't know if that's something waking up, or if, you know, it's a hallucination, or just what, you know.
Everybody has psychic abilities. I know it's tough, but I have 4 psychic abilities. Mine are turned on. Everybody has 4 abilities, whether they have them turned on or not. It matters. Yours is called clairvoyance, which is the ability to see. Okay, and usually when your volume begins to get turned up, that's almost always how it starts. And then the next thing will be flashes of light, either off the sides of your eyes, or even when your eyes are closed, you'll see flashes of light.
Oh, so there's a possibility if I play with that, I can tune it in and really do something.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and when I see spirit, 9 times out of 10, I don't see them dead on with my eyes, because it takes a lot of energy for spirit to manifest.
Right.
And the way the rods and cones work in your eyes, a lot of times you'll see them off to the side. So when I go to a haunted location, I'll stare at the floor, but I'll be able to see somebody off in the corner of my eyes. But I know the minute I try to look at them, then it'll stop.
Yeah, that's what I tell a lot of people.
when you're looking for spirits, you pick out something in a room and you just stare at it.
Yep.
Focus on it, stare straight at it, because then you're going to notice things out of your peripheral vision.
Yep.
You'll notice that a lot easier than you would if you just keep moving your eyes around, your head around.
Yep.
There's a star cluster up in the sky, I'll call it. It's called a nebula. And if you look at it straight on with your eyes, you can't see it. But if you move your eyes away from it a little bit, then you'll see the sparkle of the stars. Because your eyes have a dead spot in them, and your brain makes up for that dead spot.
That's right.
And I never knew that until about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the most interesting thing that's happened to you? Can you tell us about that?
Like the most startling?
Yeah.
Funny, because it just happened a few weeks ago, and I was at my house, and I'm kind of a smart ass, and I said, you know, God, if angels are real, I want some of those wing feathers. I'm like, give me some of those wing feathers.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks went by, nothing big. The other day I opened up my car door and there was a pile of white wing feathers in my car, in my seat. And that shocked me to my core, which I know angels are real, but I wanted proof. I'm a proof type of person. And so, you know, ask and you shall receive. And I got it, and that startled me. That really did. So far, that's been the one thing that I was shocked.
Now, talking about angels, okay, there's a lot of people that say there's always an angel following you everywhere you go, and it's always with you. But then you have other people that are saying that there's spirit guides that are with you all the time. Is there a difference between them?
You're splitting hairs. Really? No.
No?
No. I think guardian angels, spirit guides can kind of be lumped into one.
Lumped into one?
You know, prayers work, so if somebody prays for you, you know, big guy upstairs is going to give you an angel here and there,
right.
So you'll have a few extra.
Right.
But for the most part, you choose your spirit guides.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you choose your spirit guides before you're born to help you down your life path. Their job is to help guide you down your life path. That's why they're called spirit guides and or guardian angels.
Mine must have been on vacation for a few years.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Some of the toughest times in my life is when they're quiet. They're the quietest, and I'm like, all I need is just a little bit of help and guidance here, and they're just like, nope. This is a lesson that you're supposed to learn, and we are going to shut up, and that's so frustrating.
Either you make it or you fall on your face.
Yep, and it's frustrating, but I always go with what feels right. If it logically makes sense or not, I don't care, but if it feels right, then that's what I'm going to do.
Well, there's a big controversy. I'm quite a religious person, you know. I don't go to church, though. I don't believe in going to church in order to, you know, get God to pay attention to you. I think any place you kneel down in prayer is a holy place. And you don't need 900 people to pray a single prayer. And a lot of people think that the spirits that are here are all demons, that there's no such thing as a human spirit or a ghost. And a lot of religions come to me and say, well, why do you mess around with them demons? And, you know, the only thing that's here are demons. But that's not true, is it?
No, it's not. I'm in the understanding that everything in life is a choice. Before you're born, it's a choice. After you leave, it's a choice. Everybody gets offered the light, at least from what I understand. Everybody gets offered the light. Whether you choose to go to the light is still a choice. If you choose to stay because of being in fear of judgment, or this is my house, I built it with my own 2 hands and I still want to stay,
right.
Or if they want justice for whatever reason, or if they don't understand the fact that if they go, they can't relay any messages. So it all depends. Does that make sense? So to me, everybody gets offered the light. If they choose to stay, then sometimes that light sometimes dissipates, and then that's when they seek people like me out, because apparently I'm lit up like the 4th of July, and they can see that I'm connected. Right. So a lot of times they'll come to me seeking help to go.
Now, there's a lot of people, I've heard that in order to send somebody to the light, you have to have white candles, and you have to have a whole bunch of people. and do like a seance thingy in order to get them to go into the light. But you don't really have to. I mean,
No.
how would you tell somebody how to, like you say, if they've been here for a long time, the light is going to fade.
Mm-hmm.
How would they find it again? Have any suggestions? Or?
A lot of times, and again, ask and you shall receive. That's one of those things that a lot of times it's still a choice. You can still sit there and say, you know what, I'm sending you the light, here you go. They can still say, you know what, I don't want to go. I don't feel like going right now. And you can't force somebody to go. That's really very difficult to do. I mean, you can ask, angels help guide him home, get him home.
Right.
But you can't always force people to go.
Well, when we first started, it was about 14 years ago, we had this investigation of this mobile home in Omaha, just outside of Omaha. And a man passed away in the bathtub, in the bathroom of this house. Well, this little boy kept saying that there was a man in the tub. So his parents called us up. We went down there to check things out. And yes, we did find him. Yes, we did learn that a man did pass away in the bathtub and everything else. And come to find out, the man, everybody thought he committed suicide. Okay? Thought he overdosed on his heart medicine. But that didn't happen. What happened is he went out drinking and came home a little inebriated and took his heart medicine and forgot that he took it and took it again. And he went in to take a bath, and that's when he passed away. And he wanted his daughter to know that. So we told him that we would get a hold of his daughter, try to find his daughter, and give her the word about what happened, because now we know that he did not commit suicide. It was an accident. And he actually left then, because all he needed to do was get out the word that I didn't kill myself.
Relay that message. Yeah. Yep, and that's part of me being a medium. A lot of times is people will come to me and say, we're unsure of how he passed, and then when I say, well, this is from what he's telling me, this is how he passed, they're like, oh,
right.
That makes sense. And I'm like, no, this was not a suicide. This was an accident.
Right.
Or they try to relay messages different ways too, with signs and signals and things like that to let them know.
Right. We've investigated a few places where people claim that somebody committed suicide, and we found the victim there, and they would tell us, no, I did not commit suicide, I was murdered. But you can't really go to the police department and say, hey, I just talked to the ghost of this guy and he said he was murdered, because they're going to lock you up in a padded white cell. So, it's hard talking these people into going sometimes, because they want to get out these messages.
They have a message.
Or they're connected to an individual.
Right.
Maybe
sometimes even an object.
Yeah.
Sometimes even an object.
We found a feather bed, real old feather bed this woman bought, and because she liked it, because she had one when she was a little girl, so she bought it. And she said that she'd be sleeping in it, and then she'd feel somebody get in it with her. And we checked it out, and it was haunted by the woman that owned it before. And it's strange, because they could be connected to, it's usually a personal item.
Yeah.
Like wedding dresses,
jewelry.
Yeah.
Or chest of drawers, anything that was handed down from their family,
generation to generation.
Type thing.
Yeah. And once it moves over into somebody else's hand, then a lot of times it becomes activated.
They get a little finicky.
Yeah.
They get a little upset over it.
My house is, it's like a hotel. Seriously, it's like a hotel. And I have them coming, going all the time. There's at least 4 to 5 that stay there all the time. I know who some of them are by name. But other times we would get up, or I would get up early in the morning. I usually get up around 5 o'clock in the morning or so. And I'll go in and I'll turn on my recorder to see if I pick up anything. And I'll hear voices that have never been there.
Yeah.
And I tried an experiment a lot of you paranormal researchers, ghost hunters, whatever you want to call yourself, you can try this. Everybody thinks that when you go ghost hunting, you do it at night. No, you don't have to do it at night. They're there 24 hours a day. Go to a cemetery or go to a haunted location with your recorder, turn it on, and try doing some EVP. Grant, you need a good software to run EVP through. You will get EVP, photographs, videos, 24 hours a day.
Yep.
I get them in my house all the time.
Yep.
I'll sit there and look at my security cameras, and I'll see them go right on by.
Yep. I've seen a few of your videos, some of your footage in your house, and it's active. It's very active.
Oh, my house is jumping. I mean, like I say, it's like a hotel. And I've watched a few videos on YouTube or something like that. And if I think they're interesting or funny or anything like that, I'll call them over to the computer to watch it. And I'll be sitting there, and all of a sudden I'll get ice cold because they gather around to watch the video.
Yep.
I've heard some of them laugh out loud, just for a brief moment, It's quite unusual living in a place that's haunted. Not all of them are bad. How about you? Have you ever lived in a haunted place?
The house that I grew up in, it was funny because the house that I grew up in used to be a church.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, I remember a lot of times just opening up my eyes about 3:30 in the morning and seeing someone standing there, or hearing chatter, or hearing just basic talking,
right.
And so, I grew up hearing that sort of thing, but what I learned was if I say, you know what, I'm scared, don't do that, it would stop immediately.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
So a lot of times, then I sort of tell people, I said, use your abilities, but if you get scared, say I'm scared.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to scare you. They're here to just really kind of help you out a little bit.
Right.
So I always, growing up was a little different because I would get touched on the side of my face.
Yeah.
I'd get whispered in my ear, can you see me? Can you see me? And I'm like, yes, I can see you.
Go away.
I'd rather not. The hardest thing, honestly, for me growing up, and my brother can attest to this, was hearing sirens. When I would hear sirens go by, I innately knew who it was and that person was hurt, and I could feel their hurt. And I didn't like that. That was really difficult. So if I heard the fire whistle go off, or if I heard an ambulance go by, 9 times out of 10 I'd jump in with my brother because I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I had a very difficult time with that. So, but I don't really remember a whole lot. But now, announcing to my family members and my friends that have known me for a long time, saying that I'm a psychic medium, it's amazing to me how many people are now coming up to me, telling me, do you remember saying this, or do you remember doing this? And I'm like, no, I don't. But they're saying, no, you told me this and it happened. I'm like, I don't remember that.
Well, you have a website. I was on it tonight and I was looking at it, just checking things out. Would you like to tell everybody what your website is?
Sure. It's www.psychickelly.com, and it's Kelly with an I.
And it's all one word, .com. Okay. And, the contact information's on there as well.
Yeah.
So we really don't need to be throwing that out there for everybody to hear. If you have any questions, comments, or questions, we have an email address. It's called live@paranormal-investigations.org. In the subject box, put the word live. No more, no less, live. Because if you put anything else in there other than the word live, it will be rejected by the server. So if you have any questions or anything, go ahead and shoot an email to that email address. Ask the question. If you have one for me or one for Kelly or anybody else around here, go ahead and ask it, and we'll get you an answer eventually, as soon as we can. I'll put it that way, okay? Well, it was nice talking to you. Thank you, Miss Kelly.
Thank you, sir.
Great gal.
Thank you.
See you later.
We'll see ya.